You know, it's always kind of funny. Every single time I hear that Rise Up, even though they left us for dead, I think about all the young, talented guys that Vince McMahon has buried throughout the years. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this late edition of Smackdown Breakdown, the first edition, you guys. I am, of course, Nate the Effing Great, joined here by a wonderful co-host, the X-Division champion of the Elite Ringside Network, Mr. Max Beatty. How are you, good sir?
Doing pretty good, actually. Long-ass day, but what you gonna do?
What you gonna do when they come for you? Oh, gosh, I went to a POD reference. Jeez Louise. Oh, man. Well, it's also Rey Mysterio, so I guess that is a saving grace there. So we are going to be talking about a little bit of SmackDown Live that happened this week. Quite a bit that actually happened, which is always surprising. A little bit about what happened on Monday Night Raw, as well as a little bit of some discussion about NXT. So let's just dive right into it, talking about SmackDown Live kicking off. Oh, God, SmackDown Live, why do you have to make me sad? Oh, boy. We kicked off with Naomi, unfortunately, relinquishing the Women's Championship due to injury. Now, I don't know if you've heard anything about what the injury entails. I know it has something to do with her knee, obviously by the leg brace, but apparently she's not going to be able to compete for a substantial amount of time, which, this is sad, because we were just so happy to see Naomi finally get the win, and then an injury happens. It sucks.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the injury myself, and I got a little bit behind on SmackDown there, so on Tuesday I was about 30 minutes behind everyone.
Oh, jeez.
Just getting through that was just, like, come on, she's earned this. Really? We gotta, why? Why wrestling? Why do you hate us for loving you? I don't understand what I did. Damn it, but hey, when that end bit where she's like, everyone's going to feel the freaking glow when she comes back, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with that being the women's division equivalent of Seth freaking Rollins right there.
Yeah, I agree. It was also one of those highlights where she mentions, that it really kind of sucked that she went from, tears of joy one week to tears of sorrow the next week. And Naomi, we wish for the best of you. Hopefully your recovery is going well. And hopefully this surgery does not keep you out for a substantial amount of time, because we would love to see you at WrestleMania time. That would be amazing. But for every bad moment, there's a moment that makes things, I wouldn't say worse, but it's just one of those things where it's like, really? You're going to come out and do this? And I'm talking about Alexa Bliss coming out and basically saying that, well, since Naomi can't give me my rematch, I deserve to just be handed over the title. Daniel Bryan just says, nay, we are going to actually have a championship match here tonight. And what do we get? Becky Lynch. Now, granted, I understand that a lot of people are fans of Becky Lynch. I myself am a Becky Lynch fan. The problem here was that this was not their best matchup that they've had in their feud.
Oh, and, God, not even by a long shot.
And B, it, to me, and you might feel differently about this, but it's one of those moments where it feels like you kind of see that Becky Lynch is is losing her, her glow, really. And not to take it off of Naomi. I'm just saying that she just, it just does not feel the same way as she did when she first came on to SmackDown Live. She was a big deal. It was great. She gets to be SmackDown Women's Champion. Great. You kind of notice her moveset is a lot more limited. It feels like she keeps doing that single leg, T-bone suplex frequently, and I thought that was supposed to be like a signature move. So I was just looking at this like, okay. One of those things where she hits the first one. Oh, great. Second one. Oh, okay. And then the third one, really? You got nothing else? She had a great matchup with Sasha Banks a couple years ago, one-on-one. It was awesome. What happened to that Becky Lynch? I'm sorry, but just, where did it go wrong? Where did it go wrong?
I do have a theory about that.
Okay.
And parts of it might sound like I'm making a joke, but I mean it in all seriousness. I really do think that a lot of Becky Lynch's troubles, both on NXT, and I know a lot of people say, hey, after she dropped the Leprechaun thing, she actually did pretty well on NXT. Pretty well at best. I think her troubles actually go back to that whole dancing jig thing. People weren't taking her seriously, but look how long it took after she dropped that in NXT to get noticed in NXT. Yeah, she's one of the 4 horsewomen. She's the newest addition by far, though. I just get this feeling ever since then they haven't really known where to take her. And as much as we all love to say that SmackDown is better than Raw, and don't get me wrong, I do think it is, a lot of the creative team did come from Raw. And if SmackDown has any problems, it's that if they can't figure out how to make something work, rather than putting forth a little extra effort, they just get lazy and trot you out there. Oh, you won a match. Oh, you lost a match. Oh, you won 2 matches. Oops, you lost 4. And you kind of just get lost in the shuffle. And I think it kind of goes back to that, well, she started out as a fucking leprechaun.
That may be the case. I'm thinking that maybe it also might have to deal with the fact that maybe they're just not letting her, be more of herself. They're kind of having her go into like this, like gimmicky, generic face kind of deal where she could actually be a pretty damn good heel. And I'm hoping that, in the near future, and we actually talked about this so many times, that seeing Becky Lynch as a heel would actually be pretty amazing. It'd actually be pretty astonishing to have that, because it's just one of those things where it's like, if one gimmick doesn't work for you, you might want to try and switch it up a bit. You might want to try and change your gimmick, change your persona. And I think that Becky Lynch is long overdue for maybe a very good heel run. I know that also the biggest problem right now is having that babyface. Who could you really have? Unless you do like a double turn, who's your big time babyface? And that was one of the things I had an issue with this matchup. And I should say here that Alexa Bliss won with a gouge to the throat and then a roll-up. So Alexa Bliss is a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion. Here's my issue with this whole entire situation, is that it's great seeing Alexa Bliss have the championship belt again, but I think that they could have done something more with this deal. I honestly say this, they should have went with a SmackDown Women's Championship tournament. I think that they should have done that. And I know people will make the statement that there's not that many people on SmackDown. You can't really do that unless you think, okay, fine. Bring up some people from NXT. I'm not saying, sign them to a contract, but I'm saying have them come in kind of like a showcase. Bring them in so that they have that exposure, so that way they know, like, oh, hey, there's other women around here. There's other women that we can watch. And yes, I would suggest bringing in Peyton Royce, Billie Kay. Hell, I'd throw in Ember Moon in there. And you know what? You also have Tamina Snuka ready to go. Bring her back. And you can make a great storyline out of that, where Tamina Snuka goes on to basically the finals. And if they want to, they could have had Alexa Bliss just be one of the finalists, and the person that wins this tournament goes on to face Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Have Tamina win that tournament, go up against Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania, and then basically you could build this up one of 2 different ways. You could basically have Naomi there, because you could bring back the whole Team Bad storyline that they had back there, showing that she's supportive, Tamina's happy, blah blah. Or you could basically
like this time, because that first go around of Team Bad was a little pointless. Maybe actually give them a purpose.
Yeah, exactly. And you can also work the other way. You could basically have maybe Naomi celebrate, but Tamina just attacks Naomi and just says, I've been the one that's been ignored for so long. That's not going to happen anymore. Make her into like a badass heel. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think that would be a badass champion for Tamina, and I think it's long overdue. I think she definitely deserves it. But that's just me. I'm just one of those guys that believes in equality. So sue me.
I'm right there with you, man. Right there with you.
So we move on from that to a tag team matchup between American Alpha and Fabriz, Breezango, the Fashion Popo, whatever you want to call them. Basically,
they're the Fashion Popo for me from now on. Sorry, I didn't say it right. Passion have. That's not like an insult to anyone in the gay community. That is just purely my opinion on them.
Well, they hand out fashion police tickets, so I think that they'll let this slide this one time. So this matchup really was just basically a squash where, yes, Breezango basically got the win. No, they didn't get the win. They got some offense in the beginning, and then American Alpha got the win with the Steiner Bulldog. But what really stood out was after American Alpha won, the Usos, holy crap did they cut a killer promo. These guys just, well, actually, I think somebody actually posted like a Twitter meme about basically how it was like for what the Usos were like on SmackDown Live. And it was basically the whole, if you ever watched the show Key and Peele with Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key, they do like this deal where, where Jordan Peele, he impersonates Barack Obama, and then Keegan-Michael Key is just this guy who's like, I guess like he releases like all the anger out of Obama or something like that. He's just going crazy. And so he said like, oh, this is basically what the Usos are like. And I'm like, holy crap, that is almost exactly what they were like, and I still love it. Brilliant. Do you think that they're building up a Usos versus American Alpha match at WrestleMania?
Yes, and I'll admit, if you told me that prior to their heel turn, I'd have been angry. If you told me that, and a lot of people were like, I remember I was jazzed as hell about the heel turn, but even I would have been a little, if we'd done it earlier, right around then. Now, especially after that promo, yeah, I think they're going to do it, and I actually want to see it. Is it necessarily like, oh my god, this is going to be the best friggin' tag feud ever? No, I don't think that, but I think it's going to be good. I think that the Usos, as heels, they bring a different kind of edge to the style that they usually have, and I think it's going to gel really well with that more old school technical suplexes for days style that American Alpha has.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. You go ahead.
No, that's all right. I'm done.
Well, sometimes I never know. Sometimes you bring out so many good points. It's just like I don't want to stop this momentum. Just don't stop the momentum train right now.
You don't want to stop the momentum. That must mean your name isn't Vince.
This is true. I was going to say that I actually tweeted after that promo with the Usos and American Alpha. I basically said, yes, WWE, I would like to see the American Alpha versus the Usos at WrestleMania in a 2 out of 3 falls match, please. And honestly, God, you know that they would just definitely burn the house down if they pulled that off. That would just make that match for me like, oh, this is going to be a great matchup too. Oh my God, this is going to be an awesome matchup because, let me see here, 2 of the best tag team matches that happened in WWE. American Alpha versus Revival and the Usos versus the Wyatt family. Need I say more? Yeah, you could basically combine those 2 matches into this. Yeah, you're going to have something pretty damn good. So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing Usos versus American Alpha at WrestleMania. Hopefully it's a 2 out of 3 falls match. If they throw in a little bit of an Iron Man match in there, I wouldn't mind that, honestly. I think they could hang for 30 minutes. It wouldn't be bad.
That'd be